Question 1. Which statement best describes the primary purpose of AWS Config? Option A. To log API calls made to AWS services and resources. Option B. To provide real-time monitoring of application performance and infrastructure health. Option C. To continuously assess, audit, and evaluate the configurations of AWS resources and track changes over time. Option D. To provide recommendations for cost optimization, security, and performance improvements. The correct answer is to continuously assess, audit, and evaluate the configurations of AWS resources and track changes over time. Here's the explanation. AWS Config's primary purpose is to act as a configuration management service that records continuous configuration changes for supported AWS resources, providing a historical record for auditing, compliance, and security. Option A describes AWS CloudTrail. Option B describes services like Amazon CloudWatch. Option D describes AWS Trusted Advisor. Question 2. A solutions architect needs to ensure that all S3 buckets in their AWS account are encrypted and not publicly accessible. They also need to enforce a custom naming convention for EC2 instances. Which AWS Config components should they use? Option A. Configuration Recorder for S3, CloudTrail for EC2. Option B. Managed Rules for S3, Custom Rules, Lambda, for EC2. Option C. Conformance Packs for S3, Delivery Channel for EC2. Option D. Configuration Items for S3, Advanced Queries for EC2. The correct answer is Managed Rules for S3, Custom Rules, Lambda, for EC2. Here's the explanation. Managed rules are predefined by AWS for common compliance checks like S3 bucket encryption and public access. Custom rules, implemented with AWS Lambda functions, are used for specific, organization-defined logic, such as enforcing naming conventions. Configuration Recorder and Delivery Channel are foundational for recording CIs, but don't define compliance logic. Conformance Packs are collections of rules, and Advanced Queries are for searching data. Question 3. An organization needs to establish a common baseline of security and operational best practices, including multiple AWS config rules and remediation actions across several AWS accounts. Which AWS config feature is designed for this purpose? Option A. Multi-account/multi-region data aggregation. Option B. Config rules with remediation actions. Option C. Conformance packs. Option D. Advanced queries. The correct answer is conformance packs. Here's the explanation. Conformance packs are collections of AWS config rules and remediation actions that can be deployed together as a single unit to establish a common baseline for security, operational, and compliance best practices across AWS accounts. While multi-account/multi-region data aggregation provides a consolidated view, and config rules with remediation actions are the building blocks, conformance packs specifically package them for standardized deployment. Question 4. A company with an AWS developer support plan wants to use AWS Trusted Advisor to get recommendations across all 5 categories: cost optimization, performance efficiency, security, fault tolerance, and service limits. What will they observe when accessing Trusted Advisor? Option A. They will have full access to all checks across all 5 categories. Option B. They will only have access to security and service limits checks. Option C. They will have access to cost optimization and performance efficiency checks only. Option D. Trusted Advisor is not available with a developer support plan. The correct answer is, quote, they will only have access to security and service limits checks. Here's the explanation. AWS Trusted Advisor's features are tiered by AWS support plans. Basic and developer support plans provide access only to security and service limits checks. Full access to all 5 categories: cost optimization, performance efficiency, security, fault tolerance, and service limits requires a business or enterprise support plan. Question 5. Which statement best describes the nature and primary function of AWS Trusted Advisor? Option A. It is a reactive service that automatically fixes security vulnerabilities and performance bottlenecks. Option B. It is a proactive, personalized cloud expert that provides recommendations based on AWS best practices to optimize an AWS environment. Option C. It is a monitoring tool for real-time alerts on service outages and resource health. Option D. It is a manual review process for auditing workloads against the well-architected framework. The correct answer is, it is a proactive, personalized cloud expert that provides recommendations based on AWS best practices to optimize an AWS environment. Here's the explanation. AWS Trusted Advisor is a proactive tool that continuously inspects your AWS account and provides real-time guidance and actionable recommendations across 5 categories: cost optimization, performance efficiency, security, fault tolerance, service limits, to align with AWS best practices. It does not automatically fix issues, A, and is distinct from AWS Health Dashboard, C, or the AWS well-architected tool, D. Question 6. AWS Trusted Advisor provides recommendations categorized into which 5 pillars? Option A. Compute, storage, networking, database, analytics. Option B. Cost optimization, performance efficiency, security, fault tolerance, service limits. Option C. Billing, support, compliance, operations, development. Option D. Availability, durability, scalability, elasticity, agility. The correct answer is cost optimization, performance efficiency, security, fault tolerance, service limits. Here's the explanation. The 5 core categories, or pillars, under which AWS Trusted Advisor provides its recommendations are cost optimization, performance efficiency, security, fault tolerance, and service limits. These categories align directly with the principles of the AWS well-architected framework. Question 7. What is the primary role of the SSM agent in AWS Systems Manager? Option A. It acts as a firewall, filtering inbound and outbound traffic for managed instances. Option B. It is a software client installed on managed instances, EC2, on-premises, that processes requests from the Systems Manager service and executes them. Option C. It provides a graphical user interface for managing AWS resources directly from the instance. Option D. It is a service that automatically provisions new EC2 instances based on demand. The correct answer is, it is a software client installed on managed instances, EC2 on-premises, that processes requests from the Systems Manager service and executes them. Here's the explanation. The SSM agent is a crucial component of Systems Manager. It's software installed on managed instances that allows the Systems Manager service to execute commands, apply patches, and collect inventory data on those instances. Question 8. A security-conscious organization needs to provide shell access to EC2 instances in private subnets without opening inbound SSH ports, managing SSH keys, or deploying bastion hosts. Which Systems Manager feature best meets these requirements? Option A. Run command. Option B. Patch Manager. Option C. Session Manager. Option D. Parameter Store. The correct answer is Session Manager. Here's the explanation. Session Manager provides secure and auditable shell access to EC2 instances and on-premises servers without needing to open inbound ports, manage SSH keys, or use bastion hosts. It establishes an outbound connection from the agent to the Systems Manager service, Enhancing security. Question 9. Which Systems Manager feature is used to define recurring schedules for performing potentially disruptive actions, like applying security patches or installing software on managed instances? Option A. Run command. Option B. State Manager. Option C. Maintenance windows. Option D. Inventory. The correct answer is maintenance windows. Here's the explanation. Maintenance windows allow you to define recurring schedules during which potentially disruptive actions, such as patching or installing software, can be performed on your instances, minimizing impact to services during business hours. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.